Well, hell yeah, I'm Ted from the A-Team, and today let's talk about volumetric lighting. Now, what is volumetric lighting? Volumetric lighting refers to a style of lighting that goes beyond just the light that we see from a source and the subject that it hits. With volumetric lighting, we are talking about all of that good stuff in between, the distance that the light travels, and how you can shape it. The first key for achieving volumetric lighting is you're going to need some atmosphere, and I mean a lot of it. You can use fog or haze. Haze is generally better since it'll hang in the air longer and give you a more even cast. If you're live on location and don't have either, you can consider using dirt, dust, smoke, basically anything that'll hang in the air, be visible, and catch the light that you're gonna push through it. Now, after you've established atmosphere, the next most important thing you're gonna need to lock down is the right quality of light. Now, if you already understand hard and soft lighting, this is where some of that knowledge will come in handy. Just like how hard light creates harder shadows on your subject, hard light will also create sharper edges in any shadows of any volumetric lighting that you do. And just like in hard and soft lighting, don't forget you're gonna need a single source light. Multi-source panels will not work because they already cast multi-shadows, which if you think looks weird in 2D, makes all kinds of weird patterns in 3D. You don't like it, don't do it for stylistic effect either, it's just a strange, unnatural look. So, if you're trying to accomplish the sharp pillars of a light that come through, say, daylight, pushing through window blinds, or a tiny hole through the top of a pyramid, you're gonna wanna get the smallest, most powerful light that you have and back it far away as possible from the object that you're hitting and trying to cast shadows with. Now, the last thing to consider is beam angle. You remember before I was talking about parallel light? Well, since every light is a little bit different, every fixture also has a unique angle of light at which the light is emitted. And the beam angle of the light can be extremely difficult to change unless you have some kind of lens system like a Fresnel or a Lico mount. But the main thing to note here is to remember that the beam angle of your light will affect the shapes that you are trying to create in volumetric lighting. If your light has an extremely wide beam angle, remember that the shape that is emitted from it will stem from your light and spread almost instantly. Likewise, if you have a flashlight or something a little bit more directional, that light will travel farther and more narrowly in a longer path. It's going to give you a longer shape in volumetric lighting. Now, generally, since most people are trying to recreate those nice iconic pillars of light in the frame, it's best to choose a light that has a narrow beam angle from the get-go, especially when it's a practical light that we're going to see in frame. If you're stuck with a light that has an extremely wide beam angle, don't worry, you can still do some volumetric lighting, and the way that you're going to do that is you're going to back that light off of whatever you're hitting to create shadows and shapes with. By backing that light off, you're going to make the light that's coming and going through it more parallel and create sharper shadows. Just make sure you don't put that light in frame. If you take a light with an extremely wide beam angle, put it in frame, it's going to flood, hit all of the particles in the air, and wash out your image. That can be used for stylistic effect, but just know what you're getting into.